Hello everyone and welcome to Tomorrow's Tech, brought to you by 3.digital. It's our goal to help entrepreneurs and industry leaders successfully develop and commercialise their technology innovations. Here to provide deep insights to the hard questions, we welcome on the show co-founder and CEO of Haystack and current entrepreneur in residence for UQ Ventures and its accelerator program, iLab, Ran Heyman. Welcome on the show, Ran.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
Ran, to ensure a solid foundation for eager tech entrepreneurs, what do you advise them?
Well, the first thing I say to people coming to me and telling me about their idea, I'm saying, that's great, but now go and execute. I mean, we all have ideas, but what separates founders from the rest of us is execution.
That's correct.
Now, the second thing I'm saying to people is that before you go and reinvent the wheel, go and do a thorough market research. I mean, go and come back with at least 30 competitors or alternatives to your new venture. I mean, while their solution may be unique, with all likelihood, the problem itself has been addressed in many different ways by other people. And it is important for new entrepreneurs to go and identify these because A, they can learn from their solutions and their experience. They can also maybe augment their solution and even potentially find a partner.
That's valuable advice, Ran. Now, as we've seen, our innovation ecosystems across our major cities have been sliding in global rankings recently. What is the key for our tech startup ecosystems to ensure that they sustain and grow?
Yeah, well, first of all, we've moved really quickly. I mean, if you just think, we've launched Haystack in 2014, and when we started, there were so few startups around that the Brisbane Lord Mayor came to our launch event just to help us gain some PR. And now, these days, you have hundreds of different applicants in the Lord Mayor Awards in a number of startup categories. We've been extremely fortunate in Queensland and in Australia to have talented and passionate people that helped kickstart the Australian tech ecosystem. I mean, these people have understood the importance of the tech ecosystem to the Australian economy, and they've been passionate about it a lot long before we did, and most of us did. Well, now that we have our first crop of experienced tech entrepreneurs in the ecosystem, I think it is key for these early starters to make way and give the chance for these experienced entrepreneurs to come and lead the way and lead the ecosystem into its next step of the evolution.
Absolutely.
And I mean, these experienced tech founders can help our next generation of founders be even more impactful and propel the Australian ecosystem into a contender of top 10 globally.
That should be our goal, Ran. So growing up in the Israeli tech scene with that experience, what do you believe Australia should do better to strengthen our innovation ecosystems?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, building an ecosystem is like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. I mean, you take R&D and talent and funding, etc., and when they all come together, you have a thriving ecosystem. While Australia is fortunate that we are quite strong on a number of these fronts, the one piece that I don't see a lot of debate on is the importance of attracting global tech giants to open substantial R&D centers here in Australia. I mean, think about it. Take our great talent and let them work on artificial intelligence at Google, or a new memory technology at Apple, or the next generation of chips or machine vision at Intel. I mean, these people will gain experience at working at the very edge of human knowledge. When people like that work in these companies for, say, 5 or 10 years, I mean, when they leave them and they start startup companies, they start what is called a deep tech startup. And these deep tech startups are important because there is a big difference between building the next successful app to building the next device or technology to power future apps.
Exactly.
And it is this deep tech that will help an ecosystem withstand turbulence and also thrive over generations.
So what could our Australian government do to help attract these large multinational tech giants?
I mean, Australia is fortunate. I mean, we have a lot going for us already. I mean, we have great talent at comparatively low cost. We have some of the most livable cities in the world. We have an English-speaking multicultural environment. We have great weather. And these go a long way attracting these companies and also their senior employees if they wanted to come and do a stint here for a few years here in Australia. What governments could do to help that is governments, in my opinion, should introduce some specific policies, tax incentives, and special visas targeting at these multinationals to help and support and accelerate that process so we can build that robust ecosystem, tech ecosystem, for future generations. I mean, such an ecosystem would help us with our economy and help our talent do great things in the future.
That should be our goal. Very much appreciate your candid perspective, Ran, on how we can strengthen our startup ecosystems and innovation hubs. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much, Sam.
And thank you to our viewers for tuning in each and every week. Share this episode with your experienced founder network who want to be part of the solution in growing world-class talent here in Australia. If you'd like to reach out to Ran or the Tomorrow's Tech team directly, subscribe to our Tomorrow's Tech YouTube channel and follow us across our LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. Thank you and see you next time on Tomorrow's Tech.
Tomorrow's Tech, presented by 3 Dot Digital.